Hey, alright, we're here for another episode, and this time I'm very unscripted. The previous episode I at least had, a list with some bullet points, and I knew what I was going to talk about. Now, I got nothing. Nothing at all. I don't know what I'm doing. I don't know what's going on. I do know, what we're doing. I remember we're going to Vermeer, or that we're already on the ground at Vermeer, which I always thought was kind of an odd thing, because they're all talking about, the AA guns, and, it's a threat to the spaceship, and, a spaceship entering the atmosphere isn't something you can hide. It's fast and loud and very hot. And I'm sure it'll make some large radar cross-section. I'm gonna run over the crab. I feel bad about it. Oh look, I ran over a crab. I hit one trying to avoid the other one. This feels a little lighter now that with the Legendary Edition versus the real original graphic. The water's definitely more green, less blue. The shading, the lighting has made a big difference.
Mm-hmm.
Now there's robots shooting rockets at me. Now that improves up the graphic update too. I wonder why. I understand for the sake of the game why there's just robots standing around out here to fight it, and make it interesting as we drive in along the coast. But speaking from a more, I know there's another one back there. I don't care. Speaking from a more real world logical standpoint, why would there be some squad death way out on the beach? They must have been pre-deployed and or almost instantly deployed upon the arrival of Normandy. Still jammed. Alright, is there anything else? I don't see any, just crabs. Alright. I'll keep going then. Like how Liara, as soon as we get up here, completely ignoring all the walls and the terrain, and just goes nuts, starts shooting. That was dumb. Alright, what can we talk about? We're supposed to be discussing lore and such. What's she shooting at now? Okay. Whatever, Liara. Oh, here's why. Everything's jammed. Jet action. Okay, I guess we're not turning off whatever in here. I thought that was the thing we needed to do.
Ready.
Well, that's just a weapons locker, though. Alright, whatever. We shall keep going, then. I guess one of the interesting things about this mission, this planet, there's a Solarian STG team here, which I believe is Special Task Group or Special Tactics Group or something like that. Solarian Special Forces. So let's talk about Solarians. They are an interesting race, a valuable addition to cultures of Mass Effect. I knocked him down. If I'm remembering my lore correctly, I haven't looked anything up. I'm going completely off the cuff, remember? Unscripted. If I'm remembering my lore correctly, I can't drive a Mako. But that's also canon for the lore. If I'm remembering the Solarians lore correctly, they were actually first to discover the Citadel before the Asari. It was just the Asari that proposed the Council teamwork. Solarians come from a very moist, tropical planet full of water and trees and high humidity, and they're amphibians. I don't know if I mean, this should be kind of obvious from their appearance, but I feel like they would have a hard time with a lot of the other habitats, the environments. Just because they're amphibians, they have very moist skin. I don't even like. They might have surface mucus, kind of like frogs. I mean, even Solarian, it always has made me think of salamander. Yeah, missed me. You know, again, for being, this big, scary, dangerous, advanced, AI. Maybe it's just because I have 6 wheels, combat vehicle, with a machine gun, and a cannon. But I'm a little underwhelmed by the get. Maybe I just need to increase the difficulty I'm playing on. I know, I'm supposed to be talking about the Solarians. They are shorter lived. At least, as far as I know, they have the shortest average lifespan. No, okay, because there's the Vorcha too. But Solarians' average lifespan is only 40-ish years. Part of that is because they have a higher metabolism. Right, sniper. Come on. But they have a higher metabolism. They come from, as I said, this tropical planet. Oops. Get in. It's all... Okay, there we go. See, I've got my buttons all confused.
We must find a way to disable their artillery.
There's the sniper. So they have a shorter lifespan, a much faster metabolism. And they're very...
We must find a way to disable their
Yes,
artillery.
you said that, Liara. They're very high energy, part of their high metabolism. They're always doing something. They're very inquisitive. They're scientists and researchers. I suspect Yeah, pun intended. They would make slippery opponents in hand-to-hand combat. Sorry, I'm distracted by all these aliens. There they are again. Shooting everything. Alright. Things are dead. I don't know, they're Geth. Were they really alive? That's... Do Geth have souls?
I'm reading that the grid is down, Commander. On approach to the Solarian base now. Out.
Ready to move, Commander.
So that was always an interesting thing to me, their shorter lifespans and how that must affect their culture. I mean, if you knew by the time you were 35 or 40 that you were going to be sick and old and infirm and dying and useless, and that, you know, there was no chance you were going to make it to 50, you know, how different your life choices would be. How and not just you as an individual, but everyone, the whole society, the entire species. I suspect they're not going to be saving for retirement the same way we do. Or, you know, the way that Asari would. Just because, you know, they live 40 years, not 1,000 years. I activated the gate controls, so I gotta do this again. Alright. I thought I hit it the first time. I guess not. And another interesting thing about them, the way their species reproduces. They are amphibians. They don't have traditional, I mean, they still have male-female genders, but they don't have traditional intercourse. They, you know, like frogs and other amphibians, they spawn, they lay eggs, and then the eggs are fertilized. Get wrecked. So, you know, that also is going to put a very different spin on the intergender relations and the just the attitude, the culture, the way they interact with each other. Since, you know, for us as humans, so much of how society and culture operates is based on sex. And male, female, and just, you know, like the invasion of Troy, for example. All of that was over a woman, wasn't it? Or at least if you believe the movie. And so, I was just using that as an example of how sexual reproduction drives, to one extent or another, anything and everything in humans, culture, history, two genders of the Solarians together, that would make for a very different culture. They're very skills are still too low. We can talk.
That did it. We shouldn't have any more trouble reaching the camp.
And so their shorter lifespans make them very, no nonsense, no fooling around. We don't have a whole lot of time. We've got stuff to do. Come on, let's go. They're very productive. They're very high energy. And they're not distracted by the cute secretary at the office and all those kinds of urges that humans have. They wouldn't even necessarily have marriages.
Normandy's touched down at the base, but it looks like we're grounded. The Solarian captain can explain when you get here.
They wouldn't have marriages in the sense that humans are used to thinking of marriage. Their breeding, their reproduction is exactly that. It is breeding.
There's the Solarian camp.
It is contractually organized between families, between clans.
So what are we supposed to do now?
Stay put until we can come up with a plan.
Are you in charge here? What's the situation?
I'm Captain Kirahi, 3rd Infiltration Regiment STG. You and your crew have just landed in the middle of a hot zone. Every AA gun within 10 miles has been alerted to your presence.
Now, if a ship landed on Earth, we have a network here. We have the internet. Every AA gun on the planet would know. And they kind of do in advance here. Small history lesson. The closest the world has ever come to blowing itself up. And by Earth blowing itself up, I mean people launching ICBMs with nuclear warheads and putting us into the next ice age, artificially. The closest that ever happened was in December? It was in 1995. It was actually after the fall of the Soviet Union. And my cat is squirming. Get out. The Norwegians were launching what are called sounding rockets. They're just scientific rockets. They're not huge. They're certainly not Saturn V. They don't even necessarily leave the atmosphere, or certainly they don't reach orbit. But they go high up in the sky, and they do science stuff. For whatever payload they're carrying. And in the mid-90s, they were launching a lot of these. It was almost 6 weeks is coming to mind. And they launched a series of them every 6 weeks or so for several months continuously. And, when obviously the international community, puts out a, hey, we're doing this thing, every time, using the Saturn V as a continued example, every time we launched a Saturn V, or, when the Russians launched the Buran, whatever, they put out a notification to everybody, hey, we're launching this rocket, we're putting this thing in space. So everybody knows what's going on. Nobody panics. Nobody freaks out. Well, the Norwegians are doing this regularly with their sounding rockets. From my understanding, the process kind of became routine. And so when they sent out their notification, whatever, paper pusher at the desk in the office that, got this letter saying, hey, on this date at this time we're launching a rocket, and then he forgot to pass it on to whatever Russian authorities. So nobody knew. And then the Norwegians launched the rocket, and the Russian radar warning system sees this large ICBM-sized missile coming over the North Pole, and the Russians are like, oh crap, the U.S. has launched, we're gonna get blown up. Like, they had the keys turned, the little plastic covers flipped up over the button. The guy was ready to push the big glowing red button and end the world. And the only reason that didn't happen is because some other, radar operator intern guy at the office, I forget his name, but he's like, wait a minute, there's only one missile. If the U.S. was going to blow the snot out of us and we had to launch, our retaliatory strike while we were still alive to do so, wouldn't they launch more than one missile? And they're like, oh yeah, there's only one missile. So point is, something as big and loud and unstealthy as a spaceship, even the Normandy, I know the Normandy is a stealth ship, but any ship entering or leaving the atmosphere cannot be stealthy. You can be stealthy in space, but you can't be in atmosphere on the planet. So, this one line, every AA gun within 10 miles has been alerted to our presence. That tells me that the enemy only has equipment, AA guns, in a 10-mile radius. Because otherwise, the whole planet should know. We've got the internet. The whole planet's going to know when I launch a rocket, when the United States or the Russians or, the next time SpaceX is putting something up for a test. The world knows. And the world would know real fast if it wasn't announced beforehand, because everybody's going to be freaking out, like, hey, what's going on?
What are we supposed to do in the meantime?
We stay put until the Council sends the reinforcements we requested.
We are the reinforcements.
What? You're all they sent? I told the Council to send a fleet.
We couldn't understand your transmission. They sent me to investigate.
That is a repetition of our task. I lost half my men investigating this place.
So what have you found?
Saren's base of operations. He set up a research facility here. It's crawling with Geth and very well fortified.
I could not sympathize with Captain Kirihee more. The bureaucracy, the frustration, if you can hear the quotation marks, military intelligence that he's dealing with in this situation, because that is an excellent point. They are, a special operations group that was sent there to scout and, poke around, do sneaky things, to investigate. And so things are going sideways, and they sent communications on a channel reserved for emergency communications. And even though the message was corrupted and unreadable, because it's a channel reserved for emergency communications, you would think some muscle would get sent in to deal with the situation. And no, they sent one Spectre and the Normandy with a half dozen, American crew, or American human crew, to investigate what was already being investigated. As he said, that is redundant.
What's Saren researching?
He's using the facility to breed an army of Krogan.
How is that possible?
Apparently, Saren has discovered a cure for the genophage.
What's so important about curing this genophage?
It was the solution to the Krogan problem.
We introduced the genophage to the Krogan population after the uprising, to quell their numbers. Without it, the Krogan will quickly overrun the galaxy. And these Krogan follow Saren.
The Geth are bad enough, but a Krogan army. He'd be almost unstoppable.
Exactly my thoughts.
Almost, I
we must
think,
ensure that this facility and its secrets are destroyed.
Overly
Destroyed?
optimistic.
I don't think so. Our people are dying. This cure can save them.
If that cure leaves this planet, the Krogan will become unstoppable. We can't make the same mistake again.
We are not a mistake.
Is he going to be a problem? We already have enough angry Krogan to deal with.
To be fair, Rex is... I guess I can't even say that Rex is under my command. He's a bounty hunter. He's a mercenary. He's going to do whatever the heck he wants, whether I tell him to or not. He's centuries old. He's not going to listen to some, however old Shepard is, 30, 40-year-old human Spectre or not. Rex is thousands, could be, over 1,000 years old. He's an ancient lizard man He doesn't give a shit.
He'll be fine. I'll talk to him.
I'd appreciate that, Commander. My men and I need to rethink our plan of attack. Can you give us some time?
Go ahead, Captain. I'll come back soon.
We won't be long, Commander. In the meantime, if you need any supplies, you can talk to Commander Rentola. He's in one of the tents nearby.
For being
Looks
a
like
camp,
things are a bit of a mess.
Yeah. I wouldn't be so worried if it wasn't for Rex. He looks like he's gonna blow a gasket.
for being a camp and tents and hiding out under the nose of the enemy at their base of operations. Those don't seem like tents. Sure, they have fabric walls, but those are concrete floors. Those are a little more permanent than a tent. The cat's squirming again.
You think I should go talk to him?
It wouldn't hurt. Well, it might actually. Just do it carefully.
I'll be careful, but be ready, just in case.
I'm always ready.
I don't know if you know what's going to happen. Being Mass Effect fans, probably. But I know what's going to happen, and now that I know what's going to happen, that is a whole lot of foreshadowing I don't like. Alright, there's Garrus. Look at these kids. There's Tola. There's Tola.
Greetings, human. I am Commander Rentola. I can provide you with supplies for the upcoming mission. For anything else, I suggest you speak with Captain Kirahi.
Let me see what you have.
What little there is.
What I was talking about, cultural differences, because of not having the same sex drive as humans. The Salarians, I'm sure their female, male, would truly be equal. And, in terms of social, economic, whatever status, all of those social justice things. There's too many labels to put onto that. But how he refers to you in greeting as human, I think, is part of, instead of identifying as, sir or ma'am or whatever, I think is another indicator of that. Because even if I were to meet a Salarian, I don't have the urge to be like, hey, alien, what's happening? If you're meeting Morden Solus, he's a male Salarian, so you would greet him as a male. And it would be kind of weird if you just said, sup, alien? What's happening? But, because Salarians don't have that same kind of gender thing going on that we do, it's normal for them, and you shouldn't be offended. Now, I'm going to sell some junk, because I've got too much stuff going on, and I'm sure there will be, scroll down, lots of loot. Since we're taking over raiding the evil guy's research compound. Sell. Yeah, I'm going to sell a whole bunch of that junk. Alright, I don't want to waste too much time. I have this get real boring for you. It's not what I want to do. Let's talk to the guy.
Hello again, human. If you need supplies, I suggest you take them now.
Let me see what you have.
he's
What
getting
little
dismissed.
there
Hello
is.
again, human. Alright, buying anti-sniper rifle. Sure, I'll buy that.
The upcoming battle frightens me, but I know Saren must be stopped.
Alright, not much for a conversation. Scared speechless.
I'm concerned about Rex. Can we still trust him?
I've been on this mission far too long. My brood won't even recognize me.
Which is another, fair point, cultural thing I could point out, since, the Solarians are... You shooting fish? The Solarians are a shorter lifespan. They're not going to run through puberty the way a human does. They're going to grow up faster.
Succeed, human. We still feel the toll of the Krogan rebellion.
I am worried that Rex's allegiance to
Maybe that'll I haven't looked at anything in the codex, but maybe we can find why that the STG's original distress message was corrupted and not usable. Real-time communication, extensive network, Mass Effect relay buoys, daisy chain transmissions with lasers, yeah, blah blah blah. I'm just skimming this. I don't feel like they're going to mention anything specific about the STG here. Finite bandwidth. Council inspectors of absolute priority. Everyone else must wait. Militaries, civilians at last, of course. Yeah, media conglomerates are going to buy up the bandwidth. Population increasing, number of worlds settled, underdeveloped communications infrastructure is a growing problem. Yep. Well, that didn't yield the answers I wanted. Let's do a level up thing here. Well, the charm's all the way up. So let's hit that. Since I've run into a couple more of those, skill too low. Oh, that's probably through electronics, isn't it? Save game. Because we're gonna go talk to Rex, and we'll know how that goes.
This isn't right, Shepard. If there's a cure for the genophage, we can't destroy it.
I understand you're upset, but we both know Saren's the enemy here. He's the one you should be angry with.
Really? Saren created a cure for my people. You want to destroy it. Help me out here, Shepard. The lines between friend and foe are getting a little blurry from where I stand.
This isn't a cure, it's a weapon, and if Saren is allowed to use it, you won't be around to reap the benefits. None of us will.
That's a chance we should be willing to take. This is the fate of my entire people we're talking about. I've been loyal to you so far. Hell, you did more for me than my family ever did. But if I'm going to keep following you, I need to know we're doing it for the right reasons.
Oh? She seems awfully cool there. You know, her expression is pretty chill since he just pulled a gun.
Rex, these Krogan are not your people. They're slaves of Saren, tools. Is that what you want for them?
No, we were tools for the Council once. As for wiping out the Rachni, they neutered us all. I doubt Saren will be as generous. All right, Shepard. You've made your point. I don't like this, but I trust you enough to follow your lead. Just one thing. When we find Saren, I want his head.
Alright, well. Happy ending. The first time I played this, I guess I didn't have as much put into my the right parts of the skill tree, and I wasn't able to do that, and Shepard died. Or not Shepard died. Rex died. And I completely agree with him. You know, personally, he's right. The Krogan have been, as he said, neutered. And I can't abide by that. You know, in my opinion, sterilizing an entire species is such an abhorrent thing. I realized the Krogan rebellion was going on and it was a problem, but it's like killing a cockroach with a 12 gauge. It's not how you do it. You're gonna create all kinds of extra mess. Alright, let's get this over with.
Watch that Krogan of yours. Who knows what he'll do once you're in the breeding chambers.
Thank you for speaking with the Krogan. The assault on Saren's base will be difficult enough as it is.
Alright. What Kirhi's about to say is one of the best moments of the franchise, in my opinion.
I assume that means you've come up with a plan.
Of sorts. We can convert our ship's drive system into a 20-kiloton ordnance. Crude, but effective.
Nice. Drop that nuke from orbit, and Saren can kiss his Turian ass goodbye.
Unfortunately, the facility is too well fortified for that. We'll need to place the bomb at a precise location.
Where do we take the nuke? And how do we get there?
The bomb must be taken to the far side of the facility. Your ship can drop it off, but we'll need to infiltrate the base, disable the AA guns, and pacify any ground forces first.
You want us to go in on foot? We don't have enough men.
What kind of base can withstand a 20-kiloton bomb? Is my question. It must have stuff deep underground.
We won't be able to meet their force head-on.
Definitely not. But I think we can work around that. I'm going to divide my men into 3 teams and hit the front of the facility. While we've got their attention, you can sneak your shadow team in the back.
It's a good idea, but your people are gonna get slaughtered.
We're tougher than we look, Commander. But it's true. I don't expect many of us will make it out alive. And that makes what I'm going to ask even more difficult. I need one of your men to accompany me, to help coordinate the teams.
In the future, Mass Effect, I can talk. Mass Effect is science fiction. It's in the future. Technology should be better, right? That's the point of science fiction. You know, you get to joke about, you know, all kinds of crazy futuristic technology and such. Communicating between two different teams. Or if he's splitting his people up into 3 teams plus ours, so 4 different teams. I mean, we got radios. We could do that right now. We got cell phones. Send him a text. I don't feel like this is necessary.
You expect me to commit one of my people to your command?
We are all soldiers by trade. If your people are not prepared to face such a risk, would you really want them by your side?
He's right, Commander. We can't do this without both teams at their best. I volunteer.
Not so fast, LT. Commander Shepard will need you to arm the nuke. I'll go with the Solarians.
With all due respect, Gunnery Chief, it's not your place to decide.
Why is it that whenever someone says, with all due respect, they really mean kiss my ass?
Who would be better suited to the mission?
Either of these 2 will do, Commander. Both seem willing to sacrifice their lives if necessary, though if we are lucky, such sacrifices won't be required.
Well, if what they say, I mean, I've done both. I know, in the end it doesn't really make a difference, right? But if what they say is true, that Alenko's needed to arm the nuke, then he needs to be with the Normandy, and Ashley goes with the Solarians.
Williams, you'll accompany
I
the
feel
captain.
like that should be the
No
canon
heroics,
solution.
understood?
Aye, aye, Commander.
I will have the ordnance loaded onto the Normandy and brief your crew on its detonation sequencing. Do you have any questions before we go, Commander?
Shadow seems clear enough. What would the other teams be called?
Igor, Manovai, and Jaeto. They were the initial settlements on our first 3 colony worlds. They are at the heart of Solarian territory to this day. These names will remind my men what they are fighting for. They must have a personal stake in the fight if we are to have any chance of success.
I want to know more about the bomb. How reliable is it going to be?
Its reliability depends on the person arming it, but it will do the job. The drive system is highly impervious to damage from external sources. Once it has been armed, very little can stop it. The key is getting it into place and armed before the Geth can stop us.
And that's why they need Alenko, you know, to be best suited to arm the device.
The Normandy's picking me up. How will your teams escape the blast?
We will engage the Geth as long as possible. Once the bomb is in place, we will fall back to try and escape the blast radius. If we move quickly, we should be able to escape with acceptable casualties. If not, then our memories will live on as martyrs to a greater cause.
I think this is another point, you know, a more subtle arrow towards, you know, what I've been talking about this whole time with the Solarian culture being different. They're shorter lifespan, you know. They're more willing to sacrifice themselves as an individual because they have shorter lifespans. You know, he's only going to live 40 years, not 80 years. If he's half the lifetime of a human, and you know, a percentage of a Krogan or an Asari's lifespan. So I feel like this kind of willingness to throw themselves into harm's way in order to try and achieve a long shot objective is not so out of character.
You talk like this is a suicide mission.
I won't lie to you, Commander. There is a chance none of us will survive this assault, even your team. But we do what is necessary.
Let's do this.
Excellent. Then if you'll excuse me, I need to prepare my men.
This is what I was talking about.
Well, this is it. Don't do anything stupid while I'm gone, LT. You too, Commander.
We'll be fine. You'll see.
Yeah, good luck.
Is there something you want to say, Chief?
I don't know, it's just weird, going under someone else's command. I've got used to working with you. All of you.
Don't worry. We'll see you on the other side.
I know. It's been an honor serving with you, Commander.
Foreshadowing. And I would point out, if it's weird serving under someone else's command, then why was she second in line to volunteer to serve under someone else's command? We know why she wasn't first in line.
Whatever happens, everyone just keep shooting. We go in hard, hit them harder, and we'll be the only damn thing that comes out the other side.
You bet, Commander.
That's a Lydia thing to say.
You all know the mission and what is at stake. I have come to trust each of you with my life, but I have also heard murmurs of discontent. I share your concerns. We are trained for espionage. We would be legends, but the records are sealed. Glorying in battle is not our way. Think of our heroes. A silent step who defeated a nation with a single shot. Or the ever-alert who kept armies at bay with hidden facts. These giants do not seem to give us solace here, but they are not all that we are. Before the network, there was the fleet. Before diplomacy, there were soldiers. Our influence stopped the Arachni, but before that, we held the line. Our influence stopped the Krogan, but before that, we held the line. Our influence will stop Saren. In the battle today, we will hold the line. Good luck, Commander. I hope we will meet again.
I got goosebumps. You get goosebumps every time. I know it's only a few sentences, but that's a hell of a speech, in my opinion. And is one of the greatest parts of this franchise. If not one of the greatest parts, it is at least the most underappreciated part. Alright, the cat finally moved. I can sit on my chair properly. Now, we can't take Alego. He's on the Normandy to arm the bomb. So what do you say? Partially just because I know we take Liara all the time, and we had this thing with Rex. Like, you're going to keep him under control, right? I think we're going to go like this with these guys, so we can get as much combat strength as we can, even though Ashley's not with us. And we gotta level them up. I'm sorry about the pink armor, Garrus.
Comm check. Do you read me, Commander?
Loud and clear.
Good. We'll start our push. We'll try to make it to the AA guns, but it might be up to you to finish the job. And Commander, if you see any way to undermine their defenses, we could definitely use the help.
Alright. Everybody needs leveled. I'll give him a couple into fitness, because that's gonna increase his health. Great. Garrus hasn't been used in a while. I've got 20 points to throw at Garrus. Let's see here. Assault rifles. I don't know. Here, we got all of these packed close together. So, let's get him all the advanced boosts. Something like that. Alright. Well, we know we're fighting Geth, so we're not going to be so worried about the biotic stuff. Oh, there we go. Bam, problem solved. There. Something that feels a little more appropriate to Garrus. Nah. No, Garrus has assault rifles and sniper rifles. Yeah, why not? It's a big jump in heatsink capacity for only a little drop in damage. Alright, I think that's all rather figured out. Let's go for it. I don't want to take too long. I love these guns.
Shadow is on the ground. Repeat, Shadow is on the ground. Chief Williams with Igor team. Manovai, Teato teams, move. Time to get some attention.
Snipers. Get him, Garrus. Cover.
Manovai is under coordinated crossfire. Check for long-range turrets helping the Geth target.
Come on. I see turning around. Yeah, they're dumb. Weapons locker. Triangulation tower. Disrupting Geth communications. People are saved. Sun's out, guns out.
Something scrambled. They're targeting. We got a shot. Chief Williams, take the heat off Manovai.
Alright. So. I think Solarians. Very interesting. you know, culture-wise, they're very different. I mean, they're alien, obviously. I feel like, you know, if you don't know, if you're not paying attention, if you're not looking for it, that difference isn't represented enough. Thank you, Garrus.
They're calling SAT strikes. Jaeto, watch for comm stations. Williams, can you see anything?
Whoa. Why did I lose all my audio? Right, it's here. But then I walked over here and it went away, and I walked back over there and it came back. That was weird. Garrus covers. I guess the AI isn't close enough to engage. Where's Rex? Alright. Where's Rex? Garrus, shoot him! Thank you! Ah! Crooked is scary!
Aircraft heading to perimeter stations to recharge. Bunker up before they come back.
I love the graphics. I love the update. Everything's great. It feels so much more organic. I know it's basically just a retexture. But it feels so much more real, you know, with this retexture. Headshot. Is Rex here? No, it's still just me and Garrus. What happened to Rex? Must be stuck on something somewhere. Ah, more Krogans. Garrus, kill it. Why is he just standing there? Alright, whatever. Garrus, you're in the way. Oh, excuse me. So my last point that I was starting to get at with the Solarians before we got shot at. What's up there? I'm getting distracted. The Solarian, culture, society, has to be very different. And I feel like that's not illustrated, showcased as well as it could be in the game. I mean, it's there, but I feel like it's too subtle. As I was saying, if you're not looking for it, if you're not paying attention, then you can't, I'm talking about it, I'm thinking about it, I'm kind of, yeah, I guess that makes sense. But, like, they're not telling you. Oh, and there goes the sound again. What's going on? Now it's back. Alright, need to refuel. Missed. Alright. That, I think, is all three of secondary objectives to save as many as possible of the Solarians. Alright, guys. Rex has abandoned us. It's just Garrus and I.
Garrus Red has not materialized. We may be getting some help from the shadow.
Do. I don't know why it's so often, just randomly. It's like, here, use red kit. Like, I wasn't hurt. Garrus wasn't hurt. Rex isn't here. Let's move in. Let this Krogan do his Krogan thing. Get him, Garrus. Headshot.
Shadow team must be getting close. Hold the line, men. Hold the line.
Now, if I remember right, you don't have to go in that way. With the shadow team, right? So, we're gonna do this. Come on, what's the deal? Why are you doing this? Alright, well, I was going to say, being the shadow team doing the sneaky thing was sneak in the back door. Here's the back door I was going to, and the sound's being weird, and this is a big step, and I've already got an hour for you, so I'm going to call this the spot. Oh look, sound's back. And now it's gone. So I'm going to call this the spot. Save and quit. and I'll goof around with the settings and see what's going on. Who knows? Alright. I'll figure it out off camera. Thanks for watching. Party hardy.